Alright guys, a statement that's getting a little redundant at this point, but I feel like it needs to be said. You cannot hate journalists enough. The Outer Worlds 2 was announced recently, and of course it's going to be a full price game. What does full price mean these days? It means a whopping $80 for a game that you don't even get a physical copy of, okay? This is where we are with modern AAA gaming. It's unfortunate that it's gotten to this point. Nintendo is largely to blame for this, but they're not the only ones that are doing it. So again, you can point your fingers pretty much every direction. They're all doing it. It's all entirely anti-consumer, anti-gamer, and it's terrible. But then you see the media doing things like this. The Outer Worlds 2 feels like more of the same, and that's okay. This is one of these completely brain-dead takes that you see from sites like GameSpot, where you know that they're just doing their best to shill and defend these mega corporations, these multi-billion-dollar companies, because they don't want to lose their access to these companies. They like being the access media, being able to get the first looks and the trailers and the reveals and the big scoops and all this stuff. So of course, a big thing about this Outer Worlds 2 game is the fact that there's going to be, again, an $80 game that has a digital download in the box from Culture Crave. Outer Worlds 2 is not getting a physical disc when it releases on Xbox. A digital download code will be inside the box. The game costs $80. Now again, this is obviously a move by Xbox to try to push more people into the Game Pass subscription model because unfortunately, with digital gaming being what it is, physical media is becoming a thing of the past. It's unfortunate. There are still people who buy physical, God bless you if you do, but most people don't, which is why they're able to get away with this kind of stuff. It's unfortunate. So this ties directly into another brain-dead take we had from another one of these multimillionaires who represents a multi-billion-dollar company who doesn't give a rat's ass about their customers. Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford sabotages Borderlands 4's PR with an $80 comment. So this is from GamerAnx, and it says Randy didn't even say it actually cost $80. So of course, this was from a few weeks ago. Randy Pitchford, the CEO of Gearbox, who of course is making Borderlands 4, got into a bit of a spat on Twitter with a fan who said, please don't charge $80 for your game. And instead of Randy saying, I don't know what it's going to cost, but I'm sure it'll be a great game, we'll make it worth your money, blah, blah, blah. He basically said, pay up, brokey. If you're a real fan, you'll pay $80, you know. Not exactly the most pro-gamer, pro-consumer way of addressing the situation. Of course, this guy landed him in a lot of hot water, and to this point, I don't think he's actually lived that down. I think a lot of people are pretty much done with the series and done with him and his company after that response. But now today, we have big news from Randy Pitchford himself on Twitter saying, the big news, no price increase for Borderlands 4. Standard Edition launches not at $80, but at $69.99. Oh wow, $10 and a penny less. They're showing you, so please show them. You can find links to pre-order Borderlands 4's PC and console versions on the store pages here. Wow, Randy. So again, you're still coming in about $10 higher than you should be. I'm of the mind that AAA games should not cost more than $60. AA games, probably about $40 to $50. Independent games, far less than that. That's just kind of the pricing model I think everybody can agree on. But of course, Randy has to double down and say collector's editions of Borderlands 4 is available for pre-order at GameStop. It's pretty rad and will probably sell out, so grab it if you're into it. Now, just a little heads up for you. This is a $150 set. What does it not include? You can see this person Killer6 down here on Twitter saying, wait, why doesn't this include the game? So, of course, Gearbox official had to respond and say, the Echo 4 bundle was mislabeled as a Borderlands 4 Collector's Edition. This has been corrected on the website. The Borderlands 4 Echo 4 bundle features exclusive merch and a shift code you'll be able to use for golden keys day one. Great, so not an actual copy of the game. Of course, this person here, my mom, says, what do you mean mislabeled? Even Randy said it was a collector's edition. Was he mislabeling it as well or mixing it up with an actual collector's edition? Again, this just looks like pure corporate greed through and through. Again, this guy Big Ben here on Twitter showing the 3 different pricing models they have for the actual versions of the game. You've got the $70 regular edition, the $100 deluxe edition, and the $130 super deluxe edition, okay? So of course, what does the Super Deluxe Edition have? Well, it's got this Gilded Glory Pack, it's got the Bounty Pack Bundle, it's got the Firehawk's Fury, Vault Hunter Pack, 2 playable Vault Hunters, 2 new map regions, new story missions and side missions, new gear and weapons, new Vault Hunter cosmetic, new Echo 4 cosmetic, And of course the Ornate Order Pack, which is 4 Vault Hunter skins, 4 Vault Hunter heads, and 4 Vault Hunter bodies. Wow. All that for the measly price of $130. Kata says, of course, that this is a paywalled situation, paywalled content. You can see right here, it says, I'm tired of content that is already in the game being locked behind an effing paywall instead of unlocking it by, I don't know, playing the game. Borderlands responds and says, just to clarify, there's no paywall. Some of the content listed above is part of our post-launch content roadmap, like the 2 additional Vault Hunters. We'll have more to share on them in the coming months, but the problem is, even DLC is still considered paywalled. You still have to pay to access it. So Kata says, this does not change my statement, and yes, it is paywalled because you have to pay extra in order to play it. Again, common sense here, right? Gearbox official also quote tweeting this and saying the Bounty Pack Bundle and Vault Hunter Story DLC Pack are part of our post-launch content plan. We know how important this is to our community, and we have a huge slate of post-launch content planned, including free content drops and updates. We'll go into more detail on those plans later in the campaign, so keep that pre-order finger ready. Now, people aren't very happy with this. You can see a lot of people down below saying basically they're done with them, especially after that Tiny Tina's Wonderland, I think the game was called. But again, this is just them doubling down on the monetization side of it. But again, going back to the media, going back to journalism and journalists and how you cannot hate them enough, from Kotaku, Borderlands 4 reveals $70 price tag, proving all the drama was for nothing. So this is how they're going to view this, and this is how they're going to try to sell this. It was just drama. No, leave the evil, gigantic mega corporation, the multi-billion-dollar corporation alone. You know, don't pick on them. They didn't do anything wrong. Of course, in the article, they at least address the fact that Pitchford really stepped in it, made a lot of stupid comments. But they say that brings us to today, where 2K has finally confirmed the game is only $70. After all that hoopla and online drama, it turns out the game is going to cost what nearly every other AAA video game in 2025 costs, $70 plus tax. Was any of that worth it in the end? Not really, but hey, at least Borderlands 4 isn't going to hold the game hostage and force you to pay a ransom fee to play a few days early. That's nice. Again, being good little shills, right? Legacy Killer quote tweets it and says, Borderlands boss gave strong indication they were going to charge $80 and said real fans would pay that price, and then the backlash came. So I'm inclined to believe the quote drama actually caused this. You know, proving the drama was in fact worth it and not for quote nothing. Legendary Drops quote tweeted that and said 100%, so much defensive language about the price of the game during their event and then after on Twitter. Any product marketing manager worth their salt would have seen the backlash, high-profile AAA flops of the past couple of years and said, yeah, let's not do this just yet. Hypnotic also saying Borderlands 4 is going to be $70 standard, damage control and last-second change perhaps, or the plan all along and Randy drummed up drama by being vague on purpose, already knowing the answer. You be the judge. But of course, other people pointing out, like Pirate Nation, that the Borderlands 4 is also going to have DRM Denuvo and Symbiote. So again, there are going to be a lot of reasons people do not want to play this game. It's just one of those situations where you're going to have to make up your mind for yourself whether or not you think a game like this is even going to be worth the $70 or $80 price tag, depending on what version of the game you get. If you get the deluxe edition, you're looking at $100. If you get the ultra deluxe edition, you're looking at $130, or the super duper fantastic $150 version that doesn't even include the game. Not even a game code, but again, a nice little figurine and some other cool merch. So I think we're in a really bad state, guys. As far as AAA gaming goes, this just goes back to show yet again that AA gaming is doing it better, independent gaming is doing it better. Sure, once in a while you have some really good AAA games, and obviously AAA games play and feel differently than a lot of the single and AA games. However, in this situation, I would much rather skip a game from a series that I couldn't give a rat's ass about to begin with than give these guys any of my money ever moving forward. So let me know your thoughts down in the comments down below, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Alright, and if you made it this far, thank you so much for watching the video. Thank you for being here. I do have 2 channels, Minimal Effort Podcast, as well as my gaming channel. I do have a Twitch and Kick for my gaming channel. We do live streams over there occasionally, maybe once a week. And then if you are in the market for a new PC, make sure to check out Meta PCs. Click the link I have down below. Use code TBO at checkout for a special discount. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you next time.